minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to switch from peanut butter to tomatoes. I represent a part of Florida, Manatee County, which has 40% of the tomatoes grown in that county. Dr. Solomon, let me ask you, last year the FDA devastated our growers in my district by issuing an alert only to find out later that the problem was associated with peppers, not tomatoes. What guidelines are in place to alert the public regarding legitimate safety concerns without needlessly hurting growers?
Thank you for the question. The outbreak that you're talking about, we need to understand how the current safety system works. When people get sick, they generally go to a doctor. That information then, they may get cultured that they have a salmonella. In this case, I think it was Salmonella St. Paul was the outbreak.
Yeah.
That information goes to a state public health laboratory. That information then goes to the CDC and put into a database called PulseNet. Then CDC, when they see a cluster of these, that there seems to be something unique going on in the nation, works with the state and local public health agencies to try and get a food history to try and determine what product may have caused this outbreak. The assessment from CDC in the states from the initial part of this outbreak is that the implicated products were tomatoes. And so they alerted FDA to that concern that there appears to be a rise in the Salmonella St. Paul, several different states, an outbreak. These are all matching, and the people all report a common source as tomatoes as one of their source. Now, when you think about it, obviously, going through that process of several weeks of testing, going to the doctor, having those tests analyzed, getting into a system, and then going back and having CDC or the state try and determine what the product is a difficult recollection issue for folks. So they try and add additional case control studies to try and match up and get statistical evidence about what product was implicated. The initial case control studies also showed that tomatoes appeared to be the most likely vehicle. At that point in time, the decision was made to issue alerts from areas that we knew that tomatoes were being harvested at that period of time.
Just in our case, it cost our growers millions of dollars and a lot of jobs in our local economy, which leads me to the next question, Dr. Peterson. Under what circumstances is it appropriate for the federal government to reimburse growers for losses associated with false alerts?
Well, at least on the meat, poultry, and egg side, if we execute a recall, meaning the plant agrees to do a voluntary recall in lieu of me detaining and seizing their product. On the meat and poultry side, there is no provision for reimbursing them for executing that recall. Our focus is on, at that point, there's problematic product in the marketplace. It could be product that can make people sick, and we need to get it back. This did come up in the Hallmark situation, and we looked at any provisions or other reimbursement provisions. And for the packers, for the processors, there are no provisions. For farmers, at least on the livestock side, there could be provisions, and we looked at this several years ago in what was then the melamine issue.
Now I'm looking for tomato growers.
Yeah. That would be, as far as reimbursing tomato growers, I'll have to ask Dr. Solomon, and that's under his purview.
Okay. Doctor?
There are, under the FDA does not have any authorities in relation to reimbursement for products.
Well, it does appear to, if it's something that's egregious, there should be some consideration, because in our case, I know personally, I've been through these packing facilities and talked to these farmers, and they're talking millions of dollars because of these early alerts. Basically lost most of their crop and opportunity for that season, which, many of them live from, week to week or month to month. So it was a huge economic impact in our area, and I think there should be some consideration. I don't know if this crosses a line. I think it does, but in a case where the federal government makes a mistake or potentially a mistake.
We've understood that, and Congress has held previous hearings on that subject before.
Thank you.